So what's your expectations of our local courts when dealing with a case of vigilantism? That's where someone takes the law into their own hands to punish someone else. How do we expect our courts to deal with it? Are we expecting the court to follow the law and sentence as per the law? Or go easy on them? Perhaps the person they punish was a bad guy. If so, who decides which ones are the bad guys? Who gets to take the law into their own hands? And who gets to decide the level of punishment? I reckon everyone has an opinion on this topic, which got me wondering, why don't we hear more about these types of cases being dealt with in the local court? And with many opinions, which I'm sure you're all voicing right about now, why aren't we having conversations about community expectations? With that said, here's a recent case centred around vigilantism from here at Kurri Kurri Local Court. By the way, there's no charge for vigilantism. Rather, the person will be charged with things like malicious damage, intimidation or assault, etc. The vigilantism comes out usually when the defendant explains their justification for offending. In this case at Kurri, the charge was intimidation. The defendant had sent a series of messages which the magistrate read out loud in open court. They were a range of different threats to harm and had very strong language and were a bit graphic, which I'm not going to say. The male defendant and the male victim are former family members. The defendant explained in the past 10 years the victim had been offending and was jailed about 2 years ago. By the way, the actual details of the victim's past is never revealed. It's never said what they were convicted of. The only details we get about the victim is from the defendant. The defendant goes on to explain they believe the justice system just didn't do enough to sort him out. Therefore, he took it upon himself. So when a court is presented with this type of case, what are we expecting the court to do? Follow the law and sentence the defendant regardless if the victim is a good or bad guy? Allow some vigilantism? A bit? A lot? I'm just asking questions. You guys can have your opinion. So what ended up happening in the case here at Kurri? Basically, it was a clear no to unlawful vigilantism behaviour. The defendant was told they were the perpetrator and the other guy was the victim. The defendant was held to account for their own behaviour, given a community corrections order for 12 months and fined $1,100.